Do this. Time. Highly processed and artificially flavored food and beverages are everywhere. Walk into any supermarket and you're going to find them. And over the last few years, these trends have crept into the coffee world. Let's face it, they're here to stay. You're going to taste some of them today. But I will take you in a different direction, towards the small producers that loves the flavors of coffee and like me sees beauty in the limitations of it. I want to take you on my journey towards reclaiming coffee flavors. Now, why is this so important? Well, it's because coffee flavors, just like you, are perfect just the way you are. This doesn't mean that we shouldn't innovate and improve, but we can't lose ourselves in coffee flavors in the process. So today, I'm sharing 3 of my favorite coffee flavor expressions to remind us of just how amazing coffee flavors can taste. I'm going to start by brewing the shots for my signature beverage. And here I'm using the same coffee as for my espresso course. And the espresso course is going to represent the floral and citrusy coffee flavors. And the best floral and citrusy coffee flavors we find in Panama. More specifically, up at 2,000 meters in Boquete at the Finca Sofia farm. Here, producer David and his team have done an extraordinary job with this washed, processed geisha variety. My geisha is handpicked at perfect ripeness, left in tank overnight to rest, before it's depulped and put on raised beds to dry for a total of 24 days. My geisha varietal has this beautiful, complex florality that I just love. The high altitude, local terroir, and expert farming also generates this amazing citrus quality to my coffee. I remember tasting coffees like this many years ago when I first started in the coffee industry, and that's part of why I fell in love with coffee flavors. But lately, they've been so difficult to find and somehow lost in the noise of all of these other coffees. So when I tasted this coffee for the first time earlier this year, I knew that I had to share it with you today. Now we're going to start by straining the espresso for my signature beverage, and we'll get right back to this later on. For now, I want to walk you through how we're brewing these coffees. We're going to start by resting the coffees for a total of 4 weeks. This opens up the flavor compounds and allows them to settle and allows me to showcase more complex flavor notes. Secondly, I'm chilling all of the cups that I'm using for my service today. And this helps maintain more of those complex aromatic compounds in the coffee. The next step is the distribution of my coffee. I'm using a needle tool to distribute my coffee horizontally in the basket. After that, I'm using an innovative pulse tool that sends pulses through the coffee and allows me to distribute it also vertically. And the combination of this allows me to control how water goes to the coffee, extending those flavor compounds and gives you a more complex espresso. I'm dosing my espresso 19 grams in for a total of 50 grams out. This is a longer ratio that allows me to extract higher complex flavor notes, in particularly all of those beautiful florality. A longer ratio is generating a slightly thinner body, which we took into consideration when we roasted this coffee. A long soak in the beginning of the roast, together with a higher end temp and 120 development time, gives us this amazing body and tactile, low but of highest quality. And it complements these flavor notes beautifully together with the coffee. Now, when we evaluate this espresso, I want you to please start and look at those visuals, but hold off on tasting until I give you further instructions. For now, please note down as taste descriptors. We are looking for tangerine, bergamot, and orange blossom, with an aftertaste highlighting that tangerine and jasmine sensation. For tactile quality, we have a low to medium silky body that finishes off with this zesty orangeness to it. Now, to enjoy this, we're going to start by taking a sip of the water in front of us. Then, we're going to take the spoon and stir 4 times in a circular motion. And you're welcome to put the spoons in the cups in front of you. Now, please enjoy this floral and citrusy coffee flavor expression. Now, it's time for our second coffee flavor expression. And this time is all about those berry notes. And the best berry notes we find in Kenya, more specifically at the Kamavindi farm and producer Peter. Earlier this year, I asked Peter to sort out his SL28 variety specifically for this, and the result is absolutely amazing. This washed, processed SL28 variety has been handpicked at perfect ripeness, left in tanks for 2 nights to rest. After that is depulped, graded through water channels, and put on raised beds to dry for a total of 12 days. The SL28 variety in itself has this amazing berry-like quality to it. The red clay soil and the high altitude of 1,600 meters generates this amazing flavor intensity. Kenya by far has the most natural flavor intensity out of any coffee growing country, which is why I chose to use it for milk. And the milk that I'm using today is a high-fat, lactose-free milk. Lactose-free milk is slightly sweeter because of the separation of sugar chains. Other than that, I haven't done any additional processing or added any additional milk, because today is all about those coffee flavors. Now, when we serve this, I want you to please start by looking at those visuals, but hold off on tasting as we're tasting together in the end, all together. Now, for taste experience, I would like you to please note down, we are looking for blackberries, raspberries, and Earl Grey. Those beautiful berry notes in the coffee is all from that amazing SL28 variety. That Earl Grey sensation comes from a more developed roast style that we did to balance out the acidity of the coffee. The fact that the cups are slightly chilled allows me to enhance all of those beautiful berry notes in the coffee. I'm dosing 25 grams of espresso to 40 grams of milk. And I'm steaming my milk to 52 degrees Celsius. Now, for tasting protocol, and this is created to enhance that amazing berry-like quality. We want to start by taking a sip of the water, and then we're going to take the spoons and stir 4 times in the top of the milk beverage. And then it's time for all of us to enjoy this berry-like coffee flavor expression. Thank you very much. Now, it's time for us to enjoy that final coffee flavor expression. And this time, it's all about those tropical coffee flavors. And we're gonna bring those out by using 4 shots of that beautiful Finca Sofia espresso. Only now we filtered it through a paper filter. And this is important as it enhances the citrus quality of the espresso. And that's what we're using as a base. So we take 4 shots of that espresso. And on top of that, we're adding first 12 grams of an apple cordial. This is done taking 1 kilo of apples, cutting them into small pieces, putting them in a plastic bucket, cover them with a 1-to-1 ratio of sugar, and then leaving them in the fridge for a week. And what we get is this. The malic attributes of this, together with that beautiful citrus notes of the espresso, and additional sugar, generates this new flavor notes of pineapple. The next ingredient is going to be 8 drops of a commercially bought orange blossom water. This adds a beautiful tangy, orangey sensation. And most importantly, together with my next ingredient, is going to generate new flavor notes of mango. And the reason for this is that my next ingredient is it's a passion fruit juice, which I made taking 1 kilo of passion fruits, scoops out the inside, put it through a juicer, and then filtered it through a paper filter. And what happens with this, which is really interesting, is again, it has this tangy tropical sensation, and together with that orange blossom, we're experiencing new notes of that beautiful mango. And this I'm adding in 2 different ways. I also, right now, created a foam in front of you. And this is pretty easy. You take 100 grams of that same juice, you add 1 gram of lecithin, which is very important, then you buy one of these little pumps that you have in front of you. It's actually really easy and something that you can do at home. I'm adding this on top as a foam, 1 tablespoon, to add more complexity and a little bit of texture. The cups are slightly chilled to enhance that beautiful tropical sensation, because all good tropical fruits should be enjoyed slightly chilled. Now, for tasting protocol and taste experience, we're going to take 2 sips of this drink, and every time we take a sip, I want you to give it a 4 times swirl, right? This is to incorporate that beautiful foam. Then, for flavor notes, I would like us to write down, we are looking for pineapple, mango, and orange. For aftertaste, we're going to find this beautiful pineapple sensation together with that orange. Now, please hold off on tasting until I give you further instructions. I want us to remember that coffee flavors, just like you guys, are perfect just the way you are. Which doesn't mean that we shouldn't strive to innovate and improve, but we can't lose ourselves in coffee flavors in the process. When you enjoy this final beverage, I encourage you to take a few seconds and really reflect upon what are the kind of coffee flavors that you would like to bring with you into the future, because it matters. I want to thank you for the opportunity of sharing mine on my journey towards reclaiming coffee flavors. Please enjoy. Time.